for staying with us. News Hub showing live on Silver Television, Silver Britain News 24. The United Nations General Assembly and Global Plan for Action to Combat Trafficking did launch a report between 2017 and 2021. The report says that globally about 450 victims of human trafficking and 300,000 suspected offenders are in the books. What is Nigeria's share of the statistics? And what can we do as both the government side and also the individual side to, as much as possible, stop to a great extent the trafficking of persons across our borders? Dr. Fatima Waziri Aziz, the DG National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, joins us all the way from Abuja studios. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Doctor. Good morning. Can you hear me, Doctor?
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Yes, I can see.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I initially mentioned you were in Abuja studios, but I can see. I think you were in your office. Now, from the numbers, great. Yes, concise. I can hear you.
Yes.
Great. From the statistics I just reeled out right now, I mean, tell us what share Nigeria has when it comes to issues around human trafficking.
I cannot specifically tell you how many people have been trafficked out of Nigeria, whether every day or yearly. But what I can tell you is a great number of people get trafficked out of Nigeria every day. And I'll tell you why. For instance, the Ministry of Interior has shared that Nigeria has 84 legal land borders, while we have over 1,490 illegal land borders. So you can imagine the number of people that get smuggled or trafficked out of these borders every day or every week. For us in NAPTIP, I know that we have our own NAPTIP statistics, but when we talk about a country statistics, it's another ball game, because we don't stay at the borders. So most times we have to collaborate with the Nigerian Immigration Service. I know that last year across our offices, we rescued about 2,500. We rescued and received about 2,500 victims of human trafficking. So there are victims that we rescue at an agency level, and we have victims that are referred to us or are intercepted by NIS, then handed over to NAPTIP. But from what we see, I know that we have incremental cases of people who are trafficked and smuggled out of Nigeria, either by road, by sea, or by air.
Dr. Waziri Aziz, I remember when you took over in 2021, there were some words you were very, very particular about. You said that you were going to strategize and ensure that as much as your predecessor had achieved so much delivering on the mandates, that you would do even much more. How would you describe your tenure so far since 2021 in really curbing the issue, let me say, the menace of human trafficking, as it were? Especially, you also said that you're going to really go after the big people who actually are the ones who encourage these people to go out of the country, luring them, and therefore trafficking them abroad.
I would say our work since I came on board as DG NAPTIP has been very, very impactful. I've been in this position for about 1 year, 8 months now, but hey, it's counting. And last year, we were able to secure 80 convictions. So 45 males and 35 females. And last year, the 80 convictions that we secured last year is the highest in a single year since the inception of NAPTIP. We are just in April 2023, and as at today, we have secured 28 convictions and counting. In terms of high-profile convictions, or high-profile arrests and investigations. December 2021, we arrested Mama Bobby. Mama Bobby is a high-profile trafficker known for trafficking many girls to Spain. On March 8th, a very notorious trafficker, Charity Omorui, was extradited back to Spain. And this was a journey that started in 2012, when she was sentenced to 13 years imprisonment in Italy for various crimes of human trafficking, illegal migration, sexual exploitation, and all sorts of grotesque, activities. She was sentenced, but she skipped, and she went into hiding for 12 years. So last year, with the intel and the request for extradition that we got from the Italian government, in collaboration with the Department of State Services, she was tracked and arrested in this city. She was immediately handed over to NAPTIP in Benin City, here in Abuja. She remained in our custody until she was arraigned in court, and she was remanded in the correctional services, pending the finalization of her extradition papers by the Federal Ministry of Justice. And finally, on the 8th of March, she touched down in Italy. So for me, I think, it can't get better than that. This is somebody responsible for destroying the lives of young girls and family. Went into hiding for 12 years. Even though it took 12 years, she was arrested and repatriated. So that sends a very strong message. Until we continue to arrest and convict perpetrators, it really doesn't send that message of zero tolerance. And also, we've expanded our partnership, we've expanded our reach, we've gone into schools. In terms of online exploitation, just after I came on board in 2021, we went into partnership with the US National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And this partnership opened our eyes to an entire ecosystem of online exploitation at a scale that we had never seen before. We are seeing incremental cases of child sexual assault materials, cases of sex torture, we've seen cases of revenge porn and all that. So we've done that. We also went into partnership with Meta. Meta is the owner of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. And last year, September, we launched the Amber Alert on Instagram and Facebook, placing Nigeria as the second country in Africa with an Amber Alert system and the 29th in the world. Our operational structures, we've expanded. We are currently present in 32 states across the country. So I can go on and on and on.
Doctor,
so a lot.
Thank you.
In 8 months.
All right, Dr. Waziri, thank you so much for that. We can see, even from the United States government website, that Nigeria is in the tier 2 watch list when it comes to human trafficking issues. Now, most times we have seen from reports that it happens within families where somebody will say, oh,
it's
come.
tier 2, not tier 2 watch list. It's tier 2, not...
Yes, that was what I just said, tier 2. All right, tier 2 of human trafficking. I mean, what are the things that humans or families...
I used the watch list. No, tier 2. Yes.
Just tier 2 without the watch list.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
It's okay, it's noted, tier 2.
Yes.
Great. Now, what should families look out for? Should someone come to them, oh, I need to take your child probably abroad, I need to take a child and give her or him a better life in another part of the country or another part of the continent or another part of the world entirely? What should they look out for? Or what questions should they ask to avoid them giving up their children for human trafficking even without them knowing? Because most times this happens and families do not know that, oh, my kids, my sister or my brother is being taken out for forced sexual labor or for forced labor issues.
What I tell people when I have the opportunity to interact with them is There is no free lunch anywhere. If it is free, then you are definitely the product. So when somebody comes to you and they say, oh, I have a better life for you, and the next thing that comes out of their mouth is, don't tell anyone, then you ask yourself, if it's a good thing, why shouldn't I share the good news? So there's this thing called, which is what traffickers pride on. So traffickers know that most people hope for a better life. Or most people hope to have better economic opportunities. So they pride on that and they sell you things that will never ever materialize. So the kind of questions to ask when someone tells you, I have a job for you, where is that job? Number one, what kind of job is that? And also do your homework. You really, really need to do your homework. We have a number, incremental cases of young people who have been trafficked to Libya, with the hope of crossing into Italy. It's just a sliver, a tiny zero fraction of people that actually make it across the Mediterranean Sea. So these are the kind of questions parents or young people need to ask. Then when someone tells you, oh, I have a job for you, equivalent to ₦500,000 a month, and you know that all you have is probably a school leaving certificate, or you haven't even graduated from secondary school, what is being offered is not commensurate with your educational standard. That in itself is a red flag. When somebody comes to you and they want to procure a passport for you, and the next thing they decide to change your name or they alter your age. We've had cases, there's a case of this young girl that was trafficked out of Nigeria. Her passport didn't carry her original name. They added 20 years to her age just because to make her more desirable to get a visa. So these are red flags, but most people see these red flags and ignore the red flags. Or somebody tells you, okay, you need to go to a shrine and swear. Why should you go to a shrine and swear if what is being offered to me is something legit? Or they tell you they want to take you to Italy, and the next thing you see yourself going through Seme border, or you see yourself going through Jibia border. Those are red flags. And we keep telling people, be circumspect, do your research, ask questions. If you are not sure of the offer, reach out to NAPTIP and we'll advise.
It would seem as safe to say what you're saying with regards to human trafficking. It sounds same old. Which means there is the same trend, the same gimmicks, the same process that we've heard that had played out even before we were born. It still to be the same old. What are the new trends that some people will have to discover? You've mentioned now, if you see some discrepancies in your age and what have you, while whoever wants to facilitate your travel, so to speak, brings that to you, that should raise a red flag. You think we're doing enough? At this point in time, someone would argue that if NAPTIP and other agencies as well, maybe even some non-government organizations, are doing enough, by this time, these same old tricks should not be working. How do you react to that?
First of all, I'll say that the traditional way of how we used to think of human trafficking has changed. Before it used to be someone goes somewhere, you go to probably rural areas or urban poor communities, face to face, you try to convince somebody, you try to recruit, transport, harbor, and things like that. But no, traffickers have moved online. So we now see incremental cases of fake job advertorials online, fake scholarship. There's this new trend called QNet in some countries or QLink in some countries, where people are trafficked for the purpose of online scam. So the crime of human trafficking has changed. It's not how it used to be before. So traffickers are getting more creative, which is why people also need to be more creative in protecting themselves. We talk about migration. Migration has always been the path of humanity for life. You cannot stop somebody from migrating. You cannot stop somebody from wanting to go seek a better life. But the issue here is getting ahead of people who want to take advantage of exploiting people. To your question with what NAPTIP has done or what other law enforcement agencies have done, we have done a lot in terms of sensitization, in terms of prosecution, in terms of conviction. Cumulatively, since the inception of NAPTIP has recorded 604 convictions since inception since the first conviction was recorded in 2004. It's not easy to put traffickers behind bars. In terms of prevention, we have scaled our awareness campaign. We have scaled our sensitization. People now write to NAPTIP to say, oh, I watched your program on Friday, and because I watched your program, I was able to discern that somebody was trying to trick me. I remember last year we received a report from a young girl who was ready to move to Dubai. Her friend had secured a passport, had gotten, for her, a visa. Unfortunately for her, I think she said she watched where I was talking about issues of human trafficking, and she recognized some of the red flags. And the reason why she reached out to us was that she was being threatened. Her friend told her that if you don't come, I've done all these things, you owe me X amount of money. If you don't come, I'll make sure I get people to come after you and kill you. So people are now aware, which is fantastic. It wasn't like that before 10 years or 15 years ago. Traffickers they are finding it very difficult now. So we might not see it at the traction at which we want or at the pace at which we want, but there is measurable impact that is happening in this space.
Spot on, Professor. Thank you so much so far for the enlightenment and for letting us know what to do should anyone happen to be in that situation. Professor Fatima Waziri Aziz, the DG, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. NAPTIP, thank you so much for joining us on News Hub.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, the conversation continues after this break. Join us again.